Have you ever noticed how you can instantly recognize certain players like B.B. King, Jeff Beck, or David Gilmour, sometimes from just hearing one note? That's not magic. That's vibrato. Vibrato is one of the most powerful tools in your playing because it's how you make notes come alive. It's what gives your sound character, personality, and emotion. In this video, I'm going to break down the main types of vibrato, how to develop great control, and most importantly, how to shape your vibrato to create a sound that is uniquely yours. Quick little bit of housekeeping before we dive deeper into vibrato. If you are a guitarist or a musician, make sure to subscribe to the channel below and ring the bell so you're notified the next time we drop a video. It really helps support the channel, keeps me doing what I'm doing, and I really appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys. So let's go ahead and start with the why and the importance of vibrato. Vibrato adds emotion, depth, and movement to your playing. Without it, your playing can sound flat and lifeless, but with it, it can make even a single sustained note sing. Check this out. Here's a short little phrase with no vibrato. And now here's the same phrase with vibrato. Completely different vibe, right? Vibrato is the difference between hitting a note and feeling a note. It gives you that vocal expressive quality, and every guitarist has their own version of it. All right, let's talk about the main types of vibrato. The first is called axial vibrato, or it's also commonly referred to as classical vibrato, because you're most often going to see nylon string or classical guitarists using this vibrato approach. When utilizing axial vibrato, the motion happens along the string. So rather than bending a note up or down to adjust the pitch, you're moving your finger parallel to the fretboard of the guitar. Most of the movement is going to come from your elbow and wrist of your fretting hand. You're going to use your thumb to gently hold your finger against the fretboard as you slide your finger back and forth on the fret parallel to the fingerboard in order to adjust the pitch of the note. When using this axial vibrato technique, the shift in pitch isn't nearly as dramatic, but it's really vocal and smooth, and it's perfect for subtle expression. Next, we're going to be taking a look at the vibrato technique most commonly used by electric guitarists. This is called radial vibrato, or it's sometimes referred to as blues or rock vibrato. To execute this vibrato technique, you're going to be moving across the string, bending the string up and down slightly to adjust the pitch. Most of this movement comes from the wrist on your fretting hand, and you use the thumb to kind of balance your hand on the fretboard as you bend the string out of pitch and back. The key ingredients when it comes to this technique are the width or the amount that you're bending the note out of pitch, the speed or the speed at which you're moving the note out of pitch, and last but not least, your control. Think about players like B.B. King, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Clapton, Hendrix. They all had their own totally unique, distinct flavor when it came to this approach to vibrato. When you're first learning this radial vibrato technique, make sure to start small and rhythmic. Don't just go in there and start shaking the string. Start by playing in time and make sure to keep it controlled. Alrighty guys, the third and final vibrato technique we're going to be taking a look at today is something that I call forearm vibrato. And honestly, the concept is pretty similar to radial vibrato in that you're adjusting the pitch of the note by moving the string vertically or perpendicular to the fretboard. But with its approach, the pitch adjustment and movement is a lot more drastic. And you'll see players like Jeff Beck and Joe Satriani use this technique on occasion. As we established with the radial vibrato technique, a slight kind of twist of the wrist is really what is shaking the string out of pitch and back into pitch. With the forearm vibrato, we're basically doing the same movement of the string, but rather than your wrist driving that movement, it's your entire forearm kind of shaking the string in and out of pitch with your finger as the anchor on the fretboard. The forearm vibrato is great when you want to have a pretty drastic shift in pitch, but you want to retain control and maybe shift the pitch pretty slowly. It can be used in a really, really expressive way that creates a really smooth and slow vibrato. So how do you actually develop a great vibrato? It all comes down to control and consistency. Start by practicing slow, even oscillations, and even practice along to a metronome in time. Matching your vibrato speed to a metronome can do wonders. And in the process, make sure to focus on your pitch. You want to make sure that you're bending away from the original note smoothly, but always returning to that original pitch. From there, you'll want to experiment with your vibrato's width and speed. Slower and wider vibrato can feel more soulful and emotional. While faster and narrower vibrato can feel more intense and urgent. These subtle changes can totally shift the emotions of your playing. Try listening to and then imitating a few of your favorite guitarists. Not to copy them, but to hear how the vibrato impacts their phrasing. And honestly, over time, you will naturally develop your own version. So here's the big takeaway. Vibrato is not just a technique. It's a huge part of your voice on the guitar. It's one of the factors that makes people recognize your playing instantly. So when you're first beginning to implement vibrato into your playing, make sure to start simple. Practice on just one note and focus on control. Over time, you'll naturally start weaving different vibrato techniques into your licks and solos. One concept that I always want to reinforce no matter what we're learning is the importance of dynamism and incorporating variation into your playing. So when thinking about vibrato, keep that in the back of your mind. Make sure that you're focused on when you want to use it, but just as importantly, when to not use it. You'll naturally figure this out as you continue to refine the technique and continue to develop your own voice and style on the instrument. The last thing that I want to mention is that vibrato does not have to be restricted to just one note. You can incorporate vibrato techniques into double stops and chords as well. So after you start getting comfortable with whichever of these vibrato techniques resonate with you the most, try incorporating them into your double stop licks and even chordal voicings. If you felt like this video helped you out, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more tone and phrasing lessons. And make sure to let me know in the comments who's your favorite guitarist when it comes to vibrato. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one.